You are listening to the global network of podcasters dedicated to the pharmacy profession. Welcome to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
What do you call a room full of pharmacy badasses? The Profit Summit Live 2026. Hosted in Dallas, Texas on March 28th through the 29th. This annual conference is where the action takers met the action. Pharmacy owners from across the U.S. have come together to learn ways to improve their pharmacy's profit and bring better value to their patients. The Pharmacy Podcast Network brings you this exclusive man-on-the-street coverage of the show with interviews hosted by Todd Eury, talking to the attendees, speakers, and vendors. Welcome to the Profit Summit Live post show.
It's Ross Miller from TJM Labs, and you're listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
Ross, I have been waiting for this interview for quite some time, have been connected with you on LinkedIn. You're an inside outsider because you came from the outside of the pharmacy industry, somebody who understood complex software systems called Monday and CRM system and the big enterprise groups, and you really had expertise. And now you're part of the pharmacy collective and the pharmacy profession, bringing AI and demystifying AI for the pharmacy profession. Very proud of what TJM Labs is doing out there. Just set the stage for our listeners who might not know TJM Labs. What do you guys do?
Thank you so much for having me, Todd. So TJM Labs is a company that's been around for about 2.5 years. And first and foremost, we automate manual, mundane, tedious tasks within pharmacies. That usually starts with data entry. A big pain point as pharmacies are growing, scaling, continuing to operate in a financially sustainable way. How do we offload these tasks away from our people? And really, essentially, Todd, have our people that are doing well, we want to basically give them more value-added skills to do in the pharmacy.
So I had Jonathan Adley on the show several times on This Week in Pharmacy. We're actually going to be doing a special episode on This Week in Pharmacy coming up. But something that he said several times that I think is really interesting is the mystery of artificial intelligence, really not knowing necessarily where to get started. And something that TJM Labs has done from the get-go is building these prompts and these abilities to tap into your data, but doing it from a pharmacist's perspective. So talk to us about that differentiator, because I could go to the internet right now and probably find 10 different organizations that say that they're building out AI for pharmacy, but it's the proof in the pudding.
It's a really interesting point. I think that's what makes this work so well. Our company was founded, as you mentioned, by a pharmacist and engineer.
A nerdy pharmacist.
He's a great guy, super smart. But our company today, we have about 75 people at last check. It was about 18 people when I started over the summer. So it's amazing the sort of growth trajectory we've been on. Almost our whole company is either pharmacists or engineers, right? So when we build these automations, it's really us coming from a place of understanding where those pain points are, where those gaps are. Because like you said, the technology is great, but without the right support system, the folks who understand this is what looks like, who have the domain expertise, the technology is my opinion, useless. It's going to fall flat, right? So that's really where we come into this with a really unique POV on what's happening in pharmacy and how we can help.
So Ross, I have a curveball for you, something that I didn't talk to you guys about before. That's the subject of the pharmacy technician. And here's the water cooler conversations that are happening. All right, AI's in place, and now I'm going to be able to get rid of my pharmacy technician because of this, this, and this. And that's couldn't be farther from the truth. I think of the pharmacy technician becoming empowered by AI's systems that you're developing, and then now instead of them doing something so mundane and so like, by the way, mundane tasks because of a human doing it leads to errors versus a technology doing it, there's zero errors because it's just following what it's supposed to be doing. And now my tech becomes a profit center instead of someone that's doing mundane tasks. So let's talk about the profit center and how you take the ingredients. We're going to bake some cookies. They're called profit cookies. So we got the pharmacy tech, we got our pharmacy management system, we got data, and now we have TGAM Labs.
Yeah. It's a great point. I think that's the biggest misconception is we're here to cut jobs. We're not. Ideally, we're freeing people up to do those better, sort of more profitable tasks in your words. And that can be, hey, we're opening up a wellness clinic. We have patient care set up in the pharmacy we want to focus on. For our compounding pharmacies we work with, let's get them in the compounding lab. That's a very valuable thing. We don't need 10 people sitting behind computers typing away all day. It's truly mind-numbing tasks that are being done. And at this point, we are firm believers that if there's something there that is worth automating, we're going to do that, right? The bot works 24/7, doesn't take breaks, doesn't call out sick, right? All these sort of silly value-added things that just happen inherently by implementing the solution. But better yet, let's put our people in places to be valuable and for them to enjoy their jobs and hopefully stick around and maybe not burn out. That's the other thing we see a lot. People say, my folks aren't staying, they're leaving. I'm paying pharmacists to do this very tedious stuff that we don't need people doing anymore. It's a great point, Todd.
So are there examples, a story that you can share of some program that has been implemented based on TGAM Labs extracting the richness of the data that's there? Because you know what? Data's great, but it's not worth anything if you can't act on it. So give us an example of what you guys have done in the independent community pharmacies.
Yeah, so I think there's a couple of really interesting examples where we've had some independent community pharmacies come to us and they've said, hey, we have a situation where we're trying to do central fill. We're looking at doing some acquisitions, right? The bots become sort of a natural mechanism, that natural arm to sort of help with that journey. Instead of going and acquiring a store and finding a way to fill seats in that location. Let's have the bot sort of operate centrally and then be able to touch those stores from one location. That allows there to be a sort of immediate impact, productivity gains, while not sort of thinking through how do we actually have to go find people to do these jobs, right? So it's taking what's there, having the bot work in an efficient manner, and then being able to pick up additional lines of business, additional opportunities naturally. That makes sense.
So the power of independent community pharmacy is the nimbleness and the personalization, the reflection of their own community that they're part of. The weakness of independent community pharmacy is the exact same thing. It's like a strength-weakness situation where you might not sure how to implement a program, or you don't know how to repeat something over and over again. I think that's where TGAM Labs comes in, because of the coupling of your data with execution, with process, with workflow, to uncover opportunities so that the tech and the pharmacist and the management team can now step back 3 months after you've implemented TGAM Labs and say, where's my next profit opportunity?
That's exactly how this works. And I think that's why this works so well. We have well over 200 different pharmacy groups now utilizing the system. I think we're processing 300,000 prescriptions a day. And that's across 23 pharmacy management systems. So we have a lot of really good data, and that is naturally what ends up happening is we say, great, we started here, what's the path? We actually give our customers baked-in support to basically expand upon what we've built. It becomes essentially a digital worker, Todd. And what that means is we have this AI, this solution, that becomes a natural, again, partner within the organization. It allows them to take on additional growth opportunities We have bots that are doing today things like shipping, billing. People are starting to ask about inventory management, ordering, things that are just problematic. If it's repeatable, if it's something that's on the screen, if it's at a high school level or below from a reasoning standpoint, it's probably a good use case for the bot. So we're always thinking about what's next, and our customers generally are giving us really good insight into what they'd like to automate next.
All right. I'm listening to the show. I want to engage. Where's the best place to reach out and get a hold of you guys?
So we're probably talking to about 40 or 50 pharmacy groups every week right now. Naturally, they end up sort of finding our website, tgmlabs.com. You're able to book a demo with actually our PharmD, Clark Hawkins, a new salesperson here, came from Revelation Compounding and graduated from Purdue Pharmacy School. So the first point of entry would be book a meeting with Clark. He's there to answer questions and give you a unique perspective from our sales organization as a pharmacist. And then we actually now have specialists, if you will, from each segment of pharmacy. So we have a retail person, a compounding person, a specialty pharmacy, as well as LTC. And we're just kind of figuring this thing out as we go and really honing in on these different market segments within pharmacy that, frankly, operate completely differently.
Yeah. Very differently, and that expertise is so important to understand how to apply, and applications, everything. All right, tjmlabs.com. Tell them you heard it on the Pharmacy Podcast Network. Ross, thanks so much for this interview.
Listen, Todd, this has been a pleasure. A long time coming, and I look forward to hopefully speaking with you again soon.
Thank you.
Of course.
Davie here at the Pharmacy Profit Summit 2026. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Pleasure to be here. Glad we get to connect.
It is good to connect. So InBody, let's talk to our listeners listening into the post show. How does InBody position our independent community pharmacies to be more profitable?
InBody's not a device, as most people would think about it. It's a language that you learn between you and a patient, and it's an experience that you're able to provide to a patient where we get high quality data for what's inside of them, how much muscle, fat, water, edema, inflammation, visceral fat in and around the organs sticking to the heart. These are all metabolic health data points. We get grip strength, blood pressure. All of this integrates into a software and app, prints out on a result sheet, and it gives you a language to communicate with your patient, whether they're on a medication or, as a pharmacist, they have a fiduciary responsibility to manage therapies. The patients come in and they are on medications that might cause them to lose muscle mass or shift their metabolism. And this is a lens that we can see that through. So a GLP-1, for instance, is a very popular thing people think about these days. Well, it acts like an insulin in the bloodstream, so it binds to sugar, and water binds with sugar also, and that's what usually brings it into the cells. But if we're not getting that water into the cells, then we're losing muscle mass. A lot of people call it muscle wasting, but what's actually happening is we're changing the metabolic process, so the water's not getting back in the cells. So think about your cells like a grape or a raisin. Well, it might become more like a raisin if we're not getting enough food or water. And that's where the pharmacist comes in. They're some of the brightest people in the world.
Underutilized, the brightest and most underutilized profession.
You know it. You've probably said it on your podcast before.
Yeah.
Right?
So, all right. So these devices, I've seen you when we were here at the show. I got to see the scale. I got to see the gripper thing that you squeeze and things like that. Talk to us about the aesthetics. Where do you suggest the pharmacy set these devices up in order to make it very fluid into how to get the patient involved in being tested?
You can move it around and put it anywhere you want. You can try different locations, and obviously if it's out, somebody's going to see it and they're going to be like, that's cool, what is it? Some kids are like, it looks like a spaceship, right? But I think the most important element of this is, and thinking about, there's prescription revenue and there's non-prescription revenue, and the wellness bucket of services and products that we can offer are the opportunity, I think, that's at hand here for us to think about how do we convert our patients that come in for a prescription into a wellness service or a product. And this is a process where if somebody sees that, or you invite them into a consultation or an appointment, then what we can do is we can then convert that person into a product or a service and isolate that into an experience for somebody that adds value to their life. And I heard about a research study that was done that said, it was done by Harvard, and they showed that if somebody teaches somebody something, they're more likely to make a buying decision. Mm-hmm. So people that are coming in, if we can teach them things about their health, then we might sell them more supplements. I know a pharmacist.
That was my follow-up question to this.
Yeah, there's a lot of nutrient deficiencies that happen that shift metabolism that might cause somebody to increase fat or lose muscle. So that's a great opportunity. I know pharmacists that have health coaching programs that are higher ticket values, where they coach somebody for 2-3 months and offer support and service. I know a pharmacist that just got over $150,000 cash into his business because he took his health coaching program out to a school district that gave him $1,000 per head for 150 employees.
It's incredible.
So the money is there, and
it's how you package it, and it's how you're putting products involved.
That's your business
supplements
model.
involved.
It's how you think about your business model. Are you thinking about your non-prescription revenue? And when you open up that door of non-prescription revenue, you can look at it through the lens of the InBody and say which products and services line up with this. But it really comes down to the clinical confidence to deliver this care. Mm-hmm. And pharmacists, their risk tolerance is low, or their willingness to take a risk, to try something new. Oftentimes they might conceptually get it, but if you're going to start to clinically see a patient and we're going to start to make recommendations, that's something that you got to fail sometimes. You just got to try it. And in the beginning, you don't have to spend $10,000-$20 on our equipment to do this part of it. You just got to figure out what your patients need, and you need to open up that doorway to a conversation, and then along the way you can figure it out.
I'm sure there's a portfolio of devices that you have, but what's the starter one that you're like, okay, here's what we recommend to get going, so that the community that comes in and they see this new apparatus, it stems curiosity, and now you kind of build this into a bigger program?
The InBody 380 is the baseline model, first one that shows visceral fat, inflammation, edema, muscle, all that stuff. And every time you do the test, you get a new result sheet, and you see a trending graph on there, so you can see that change. Okay. And if you want to get that, I'll give you the grip strength dynamometer free. That's a great fun tool to be able to engage somebody in a fun way about strength and fitness and wellness, and help, gauge your population and see where you can go with your business. But if you're not interested in non-prescription revenue and you keep your business simple and it's just about insurance prescription, we're not for you. Mm-hmm. But if you want to open up that opportunity, then you should have an InBody. I think the future of pharmacy will have them, and there's a lot of momentum moving that way, and people are figuring it out. And this is such a great environment with people that are open to that opportunity.
Yeah, the word wellness fused with pharmacy is a cash cow to be opened up, but you have to be creative. You have to have a program ready. You have to have the marketing and the education out to the markets of what's happening, and you turn and you do it over and over and over again. And now instead of being a pharmacy, you're a wellness center, and this is definitely part of that. So very impressed with InBody. Shout out to our listeners where to go to access more information on you and then reaching out to you.
InBodyUSA.com.
InBodyUSA.com.
Yeah, put an inquiry in there and our team will reach out to you and help you out.
Bradley Davies here at the Profit Summit 2026. It was great to talk with you. Thanks for being part of the show.
Thank you. Blessings.
At the 2026 Pharmacy Profit Summit, TJM Labs showed pharmacy leaders how to scale operations without scaling headcount. Built for pharmacy by pharmacists, TJM Labs uses AI-powered automation to handle time-consuming workflows like prescription intake, data entry, fax processing, refill management, and more. What makes TJM Labs different is how quickly it works. There's no need for APIs or system replacement. The platform operates directly within existing pharmacy systems, allowing teams to go live in under 4 weeks with no IT lift required. Today, TJM Labs supports over 200 pharmacy groups and helps automate more than 300,000 prescriptions every day. Pharmacy partners typically see a 400 to 500% return on investment with significant increases in throughput and reduced manual workload. The result is more capacity, fewer bottlenecks, and more time focused on patient care for pharmacies looking to grow without adding headcount. TJM Labs is helping teams automate smarter and scale with confidence.
What does zinc and bad breath have in common? I'm here with Jonathan Tanner, and you were the first pop rocks type of application / zinc that I ever heard of. And now you guys are catching fire. Talk to us, tell our listeners about what you do, what your mission is, and the product.
Well, our mission is to help consumers actually have a functional product for breath.
Yep.
Because Tic Tacs, Altoids, all that's just perfumed candy. Mm-hmm. This is actually fun and functional.
So talk to us right out of the gate, just before we forget, because I get too excited in the interview. Where can people learn about the product in procuring and engaging with you guys?
So they go to BreathRox.com. That's the place to be able to buy it and to be able to learn about it. But our social media, every single social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we're there a couple times a week. We're posting and sharing people's reactions to the product and letting them know what BreathRox is all about.
I love it. I love your social media traffic. It's increased lately. I've been watching you on TikTok, get a ton of young people, students starting to post content. You guys have done a great job. I'm a father of 4 daughters, so when I saw this young professional lady in your booth, and I looked at her name tag, and what do you know? It's Tanner, just like you. Introduce yourself. Your daughter. You're here at your first conference, right?
This is my second oldest daughter, Azelle. She's 15, and she came to be here at the booth here at the Pharmacy Profit Summit and help all these pharmacies learn about this great product.
Say hello.
Hey guys.
All right, so what's it like to be at a national conference with your dad and helping to market this product?
It's really fun. I feel like it just helps me grow better and learn way more about BreathRox.
Well, I think it also helps you to apply how a product can become something that you're marketing. And, you and I were talking a little bit. You said that you wanted to go into physical therapy. I could easily see how you'd open up your own physical therapy business, and on one of the counters, you could be having BreathRox there to really help people understand how zinc can impact bad breath.
Yes, I feel like that'd be such a great idea.
Well, and I think, Todd, we launched 2.5 years ago at NCPA, and we launched through pharmacies because from the very beginning, we saw this product. This isn't just a tool that you're selling a product for, buying for X and selling for Y. This is actually a tool that pharmacies are using. And what's great for Azelle to be able to see here, when these pharmacies come up and they try this, and they're going, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. I need to put it in my store, or this is a wonderful product. We've been selling great with it. Oh, you got a new flavor, got to try it, whatever. What I tell them is look, yeah, you're buying it for $1.49, you're selling it for $2.99, but if you sell 10 of these things a day, $15 isn't going to move the needle. What's going to move the needle is when you got that kid who comes in, like my 9-year-old son, Falcon, who's scared about getting that flu shot. Give him the blue raspberry BreathRox. He's focused on the part in his mouth. Yeah. He's distracted. Then you jab him, give him the rest of the bottle, and now you've got your vaccination program where people are going, my kids want to come in. They want another flu shot.
That's
that type of thing.
That's an awesome idea.
So that's the whole thing, is saying, I'm doing doctor detailing. We had a pharmacist come up. He bought 4 cases because he's doing a periodontal program where he's going to have 300 dentists there, and he's bringing BreathRox, saying, hey, look, this is a great product. This is a great product for your patients, and it's a great doctor detailing tool for him. So it's seen these pharmacies use this as a tool. Another pharmacist here in Texas says, we have 3 locations. We put BreathRox at the drive-thru, so if they've got a charge or they're just coming to buy a Coke or whatever, it's not going to cross the $5 barrier. They're saying, hey, look, great BreathRox product, $2.99, gets them over the $5 threshold, and now all of a sudden they're coming back and reordering. So it's, again, pharmacists are problem solvers.
Yeah.
So this is just a tool to help them in their solving of problems.
I love it. What's your favorite flavor, Azal?
My favorite flavor is the chili lime mango.
The chili lime, that's a new flavor.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard of that. I remember the first 3 flavors. I think I had a box that you gave me that had a little mixture of them.
Yeah, cinnamon, watermelon, and mint.
Watermelon was my favorite.
Yeah, and when we launched Blue Raspberry the Christmas before last, that was named the Mint of the Year by the National Candy Association, by the National Convenience Store, National Convenience Store Association. So we beat the Tic Tacs, Dr. Pepper, the Mentos, all these different flavors. Our humble little product that launched through independent pharmacies. All these pharmacy owners are part of our company. It's just been wonderful, and now we have the chili lime mango that just came out. That was actually Azal's idea, because a pharmacist owner, Indian guy in Florida, says these flavors are great. Those first 3, he goes, but those are for white guys. I need stuff for my people. I need stuff for my Asian staff. And she blurted out, goes, what about mango tahini? Well, we got in the lab and started doing it, and we realized, wait a minute. If you're going to have Mexican food or Indian food, you don't want to have a blue raspberry, a mint. You want to have something that almost like a wine pairing. And so now we had Mexican food here at the show. People are like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have my chili lime mango. It's a great segue. And then I'm being left with a sweet mango, but I'm not having that kind of a clash of something else.
Do you have you have some of them? All right, and then tell us the website where we have to go to get more access to this.
BreathRox.com.
So you go to BreathRox.com, but you can also go to the Sencora's, the marketplace. If you're a AmeriSourceBergen customer, you can order it that way. If you're an AAP API member, you can order it that way. If you're a customer of Windmill, you can get it that way. So there's just a lot of ways where these pharmacies can get this tool in there and use it.
This is good.
What they're going to do. So yeah.
I got it in my mouth now. Anybody can hear this? Here you go. I love this.
I got one little sneak peek for you.
What?
Our next flavor, pineapple Dole Whip.
Tell us the reason that you're doing that. This campaign is crazy. Listen to this, guys.
So here's the thing. BreathRox, we're going to work for 30 days leading up to the Moana premiere on July 10th. We're going to stalk him on Facebook, Instagram, wherever we can find him, and say, it's day 1, getting BreathRox to try The Rock to try BreathRox. So my 6 kids are going to be posting it.
Wayne Johnson.
Day 2, day 3, day 4. What's funny? Guess where my 3 youngest kids go to school? Rock Canyon Elementary. So all the kids in the neighborhood got their Rock Canyon shirts. We're going to build up all this momentum because we're saying we made a custom flavor for you, pineapple Dole Whip flavor. We're going to get them. And again, what that's going to do, gets all that buzz. And then when you see this on social media, they walk into Village Pharmacy, they walk into the pharmacy and say, oh my gosh, I saw that on social media, I want it. So those are little creative, fun things we're doing to help drive traffic. And so when that pharmacist gives that kid some BreathRox for that flu vaccination, they're saying, oh my gosh, this is awesome, I've seen this, I wanted it, that type of thing. So again, it's just a fun tool. We're using it as a way to promote from a marketing standpoint, and the pharmacists can use it as a tool to promote their marketing stuff, patient giveaways, doctor detailing, whatever they got to do. Because for $1.49, it's just a great tool to use to grow your pharmacy.
It's awesome. You got your friends all on this stuff?
Yeah, everyone at school.
What's everybody's favorite flavor primarily?
Their favorite flavor? Blue raspberry for sure.
Blue raspberry.
I feel like that's like a universal one that everyone loves.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. BreathRox.com. Rox is R-O-X.
Yep.
BreathRox.com. Thanks so much for being part of the Pharmacy Profit Summit 2026.
It's a great place to be every year.
It is. Thank you.
Hey, this is AJ Mehra, co-founder Ugo RX, and you are listening to the Pharmacy Podcast.
Ugo, I tell you what, I heard about Ugo, learned about Ugo at the Pharmacy Profit Summit probably 4 or 5 years ago. My goodness, we're getting old, aren't we?
Yeah.
All right, so give us, set the stage. Talk to us about Ugo and what you guys do for the profitability of pharmacy.
Yeah, no, thank you. So basically, long and short of it, what we've created Ugo to do is sync up to your PMS system, run in the background, and scrub your data for profit opportunities that we put right on our dashboard for you. So through the use of integrating AI on a back end, coupled with our own in-house data analytics team, we are basically cross-referencing what your pharmacy is doing against what people within the Ugo community are doing, and we are hunting down profit opportunities that you guys would otherwise miss and bringing them right to the surface for you to execute.
So give us this low-hanging fruit examples of what you've done with other pharmacies and what they've found in their data that are these opportunity flags.
Yeah, absolutely. So in its most simplistic form, we have these audits that we've programmed that are, again, running in the background, something like a refill audit, where the platform is automatically going to be fishing through a rolling 90 days of your dispense data, looking for missed refill opportunities, but also something very unique to Ugo is called zero refill opportunities, where the patient may be out of fills. It will highlight profitable prescriptions that are out of fills and bring them to the surface for you to reach out to prescribers, because one thing people kind of forget is that prescribers benefit from patient adherence. So when you can isolate zero fill opportunities, not only does the patient win, staying on therapy, the pharmacy wins by picking up a fill, and the prescribers love you because you keep their adherence score nice and high.
All right, so when people have talked to me I just got back from the American Pharmacists Association. There were some hospital system pharmacists there. They were talking about profitability as well in following the patient with medication adherence and things that they're doing. Long-term care pharmacy at home is really a growing sector. If I was a pharmacy owner, are you able to do an analysis for me based on my existing data to show what opportunities I missed and then possibly break it into sector opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great one. So one of the things we do is we also do NDC optimization opportunities. So we will look into your dispense data, whether you're doing LTC, retail, whatever it may be. We'll cross-reference it against NDCs being adjudicated within the Ugo community, which is a couple thousand pharmacies strong. And we'll be able to isolate out which NDCs you theoretically could be using that have a higher profit per RX yield to you. We'll break them down by RX number and by NDC that can be associated with it, and we'll give it to you in potential profit segments. So we'll break it down section by section with the corresponding RX number and NDC you should be using from a profitable standpoint.
Tell the listeners where they can get more information about your organization and linking up with you guys.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. So if you go to www.ugorx.com, you can definitely take a look at some of the stuff we do. But because you're a pharmacy podcast listener, you are also going to get a free 1-month trial if you mention Todd Eury's name to us when you reach out. So
thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. We want to make sure everybody that is listening to this incredible podcast gets a benefit out of it, just from us as a thank you. So a free trial to anyone listening.
UgoRx.com. Tell them that you heard it on the Pharmacy Podcast.
Hi, this is Amanda Pritchett with Vaccine Connect, and you're listening to the Pharmacy Podcast Network.
Amanda, welcome to the Pharmacy Profit Summit 2026. I'm so proud of what you've been building and how you've been taking the vaccine and making it a profit center for independent community pharmacies. So excited to have you here.
Well, thank you. Our motto is to make sure that every independent pharmacy has the opportunity to build a robust and profitable vaccine business.
I love that. When I was at your booth here in Dallas, I thought that you had been around so much longer. I said 5 years. It's been 2 years, but you've been a rocket ship. You've been getting so much attention from independent community pharmacies that they came out of the pandemic, and now people are understanding the importance of vaccines and different types of vaccines, different things that are happening. Talk to our owners, our listeners that didn't get to go to the Profit Summit. What's the whole concept behind Vaccine Connect?
So I've been working in the vaccine business for a long time. I started working with my pediatrician. I figured out how the vaccine market worked, and I brought that knowledge to independent pharmacy owners. And my goal is to make sure that no one is intimidated by this very complex vaccine market. I was talking yesterday. Did you know that over 30 new vaccines have been introduced just in the last 10 years, right? And so that's 30 new vaccines, but that's probably at least 30 recommendations that have been changing. There's been a lot of questions about the vaccine schedule, a lot of new adult vaccines that pharmacies want to start doing, but they're really intimidated by the business. And so our goal is to make sure that everyone has a friend in the vaccine business. Mm-hmm. They have someone that they can call that is member first. That's what we talk about. We are member first. We work with a lot of manufacturers and we have a lot of connections, but we're really here for the pharmacies to be that person that they can look to with pricing questions, indication questions, process questions, whatever it might be.
So the communication of vaccines and the education to the public and to the community, that's also part of it. So talk to us how you help to educate the community pharmacy in pushing out that information and doing it through a blog, a podcast, an article. Like what are you doing to get the information out for Vaccine Connect members?
So we're trying lots of different ways, right? Just however people want to receive their information, we do. We do social media posts. We have monthly newsletters. But one of the most exciting things we're doing right now, we're doing a trial with 15 of our members, and it's called the Shingrix Volume Accelerator Challenge.
Oh, cool.
And it's a 4-week challenge for these 15 pharmacies to 3x the number of Shingrix, which is the shingles vaccine that they give in their pharmacy. And we're doing weekly consulting. We're doing group training. I'm doing weekly emails, just really to help support these pharmacies in trying to train their staff on what to look for and to educate their community and to make sure that they're successful in giving specifically the Shingrix vaccine in this challenge, but it really bleeds over to any vaccine that they're giving.
Yeah. I think of travelers. I'm thinking of sports, people that are getting into sports. I'm thinking of high school. I'm thinking of so many verticals that you could create a communications opportunity to outreach to your community, get them the information, demystify the vaccine, and become a source of revenue for the community pharmacy.
It's funny that you mentioned travel vaccines because we've had a lot of questions about travel vaccines and creating a travel vaccine program in their pharmacy. This is the time of year that there are a lot of travelers thinking about going overseas in the summer or mission trips that are going. And so these independent pharmacies are who the local organizations and churches turn to about vaccines and ask them questions. And so I want to support the pharmacies and say, okay, if you get a question about the typhoid vaccine, or if you get a question about just Tdap or MMR, that you can't answer, call me. I'm happy to help.
You just said something that just made me think. You said churches, so imagine the missions the churches will go out in, and if you were a community pharmacy and you reached out to some of your churches and say, hey, are you planning any mission trips? We can actually put a program together to bring everybody in kind of either at the same time or do some education or answer questions or whatever it is, but that's a really good idea.
Yeah, so, and that's what I've been talking to pharmacies about this week of like, okay, bring them all in on a time, on a Tuesday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and we'll vaccinate everybody, whatever they need, I'll make sure that my refrigerator is stocked and I have it all, in-house, and we can really service your group. And so they're not having to go maybe to a travel vaccine clinic that may be 30 miles away. I can take, it's just part of taking care of the community, which I know the pharmacies, that's why they exist. That's why they thrive, is because they take care of their community.
All right, I'm listening. You got my interest. Where do I go to get more information?
Okay, it's really easy. You go to vaccineconnect.com, and there is a place to sign up. You can join as a pharmacy. You can join for free. Mm-hmm. It costs you nothing to be a member of our vaccine GPO. It's a big blue button on the right side. But there's also my phone number on there, my email address. We don't gatekeep anything. If you call us, somebody's going to pick up the phone. You're not on a phone tree. It's me or one of my team members. And we'd love to talk to you.
That's awesome. Amanda, Amanda Pritchett, Vaccine Connect, thanks so much for being part of the Pharmacy Profit Summit 2026.
Todd, thanks for the opportunity.